He didn't just build muscle, he built America's obsession with it. Arnold Schwarzenegger exploded out of a tiny Austrian village to redefine what was possible. Bodybuilding gyms. He dragged them from grimy afterthoughts into mainstream temples. Action heroes. He swapped square-jawed cowboys for muscle-bound Terminators. Politics. He walked straight from Hollywood into California's governor's mansion. 3 impossible careers, each more unlikely than the last. Every protein shake you've ever seen, every gym selfie, every action movie one-liner traces back to one immigrant who refused to accept limits. The kid who stared at Hercules on a smoky movie screen didn't just chase the American dream. He grabbed it, gave it a thick accent, and turned it into a global phenomenon that's still growing today. This is the story of how Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't just become a cultural icon. He became the culture itself. From Austrian farm boy to the blueprint for modern American ambition. One impossible transformation at a time. Arnold Schwarzenegger's escape plan ignited in a packed, smoke-haze cinema in Graz, Austria. He was 13, the son of a strict police chief sneaking into the late-show Hercules double feature. When the muscle-bound hero deadlifted a horse like it was groceries, young Arnold made a deal with destiny. Build a body like Hercules, cross the Atlantic, and conquer Hollywood. Back home in the village of Tall, life felt suffocating. His father ran the household with military precision, expecting perfection in everything. That pressure only hardened Arnold's resolve to stand out. Everything changed the day he stepped into the local weight room, a dingy basement that reeked of rust and ambition. The clang of steel triggered instant obsession. He left so sore he couldn't raise his arms, and it thrilled him. This was the 1960s Austria, where bodybuilding was a fringe hobby for circus strongmen. But Arnold saw the future. Training became his daily religion. He devoured American bodybuilding magazines, plastered his bedroom with photos of Reg Park, and learned that Park's path to Mr. Universe had led straight to Hollywood movies. At 19, conscripted into the Austrian army, Arnold went AWOL to enter the Junior Mr. Europe contest, and he won, earning him time in military jail, but cementing his reputation as the Austrian Oak. The victory proved what he'd suspected. Muscle wasn't just about strength anymore. It was about transformation, spectacle, business. Arnold's break came in 1968. At 21, he became the youngest Mr. Universe champion in history. Bodybuilding impresario Joe Weider noticed the newcomer's charisma and raw marketing potential, telegrammed an invitation to compete in Miami, plane ticket included. Schwarzenegger landed in the United States that September with a gym bag, broken English, and a vision bigger than muscle. He lost that first American contest but refused to retreat. Venice Beach's Gold's Gym became his laboratory. But the young immigrant wasn't just building biceps, he was building a blueprint. He enrolled in business courses at UCLA, launched a mail-order fitness venture, and started connecting dots nobody else could see. Those basement gyms back in Austria? They were about to become America's next obsession. Arnold didn't just want to be the strongest man alive, he wanted to commercialize strength itself. By 1970, that relentless drive born in a smoky Austrian cinema had found its stage. But first, he had to become a god. Sun-bleached walls, rust-patched plates, a floor that reeked of sweat and sea salt, but to Arnold Schwarzenegger it was holy ground. He dubbed it the Iron Cathedral, and he worshipped with volume. 5 relentless hours daily, dawn and dusk marathons that left rivals gasping. It wasn't just reps that set him apart, it was showmanship. When tourists pressed noses to the open garage door, Arnold staged the donkey calf spectacle, crouching beneath bikini models who'd climb onto his back while he pumped out calf raises, laughing the whole time. Cameras clicked, magazines printed, memberships soared. Arnold wasn't just building muscle, he was building a movement, but Arnold treated muscle like mathematics. He logged every angle, grip, and tempo in a spiral notebook, chasing perfect symmetry through precise calculations. Ballet classes for stage presence, yogic breathing for vacuum-tight abs, accent reduction sessions with drama coach Eric Morris. "My jaw is sorer than my biceps," he joked. Arnold didn't just pump iron, he pumped profits. He and Franco Columbu ran European bricklayers quarantine, touting continental craftsmanship to Santa Monica homeowners. They charged premium rates, crushed jobs in half the time, and funneled cash into real estate. By 25, before any studio check, Arnold's portfolio hit 7 figures. Bodybuilding bought me fame, he'd say. Real estate bought me freedom. Arnold didn't just build muscle, he built an industry. His hustle proved bodybuilding could fund empires, inspiring gym chains nationwide to rebrand from grimy basements to premium fitness temples. What started as a circus strongman hobby was becoming America's billion-dollar obsession, and Arnold was writing the business plan one rep at a time. Inside the cathedral, rivalry bred results. He studied competitors like chess openings, offering fake advice while secretly adding their best moves to his routine. When reporters asked about steroids, Arnold shrugged. They don't replace work. They just let you recover faster so you can work harder. In an era of denial, that brutal honesty magnified his legend. Competitions became coronations. 6 consecutive Mr. Olympia titles between 1970 and 1975, each win more dominant than the last. The 1975 showdown in pumping iron cemented him as the sport's Mozart. Lou Ferrigno looked like an oak tree. Arnold looked like the guy who chopped them for fun. With 7 trophies, he walked away at 29, undefeated and plotting Act 2. His 1977 bestseller, The Education of a Bodybuilder, landed him on talk shows, where America discovered the muscle mountain was sharp, funny, charming. Hollywood agents started calling. The Iron Cathedral had forged more than a champion. It created a blueprint for America's fitness future. With Venice Beach sunsets burning behind him, Arnold set his sights on conquering Hollywood. One sword swing turned a bodybuilder into a box office god. Conan the Barbarian, 1982, was raw, sweaty fantasy, and Arnold's gravel-voiced battle cry launched him from Venice Beach. Curiosity to worldwide marquee. Reviewers said he couldn't act. The box office said otherwise. More than $100 million later, Hollywood realized biceps plus accent could sell tickets just fine. But true stardom came with just 24 lines of dialogue. In 1984, James Cameron handed Arnold the role he first refused. Too few words, I want to be the hero. Cameron pushed back. The cyborg was the hero. The result was The Terminator, a low-budget thriller that minted a new cinematic archetype. Unstoppable, steel-eyed, and somehow likable beneath the leather. Overnight, I'll be back became playground slang and late-night punchline. Arnold rode the momentum into the jungle. Predator, 1987, pitted him against an invisible alien in a sweltering Mexican rainforest. On-set temperatures hit 110 degrees Fahrenheit. He still squeezed in dawn weight sessions under a tin roof. The film doubled its production cost in a week and cemented the image of the muscle-bound action commander, an image every gym poster in the late 80s tried to mimic. Then he tore that image down with a grin. Twins, 1988, paired him with 5'0" Danny DeVito and 0 explosions. Studios balked at paying an action star for comedy, so Arnold waived his salary for 15% of gross. The gamble netted him roughly $40 million and rebranded him as the Gentle Giant. Families who'd never rent a slasher tape now lined up for the Schwarzenegger smile. The accent everyone mocked, Arnold weaponized it. Get to the chopper. Wasn't just a line, it was a brand. Kindergarten Cop, 1990, doubled down. A hard-nosed detective reduced to pleading with 5-year-olds about nap time. It's not a tumor became the battle cry of every 90s kid. Yet the ultimate flex was returning to the role that started the wildfire. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 1991. Arrived with the largest budget in history and made it back in its first week, piling up over $500 million worldwide. Arnold collected a then-record $15 million salary plus back-end points, bought a Gulfstream, and became the highest-paid actor on Earth. In a single decade, Arnold had mutated from spear-wielding barbarian to comedic babysitter without losing a shred of box office muscle. Each pivot widened his audience and fattened his negotiating power, proving the Austrian Oak could bend genre the way he once bent barbells, until Hollywood itself seemed carved in his image. After a decade of knockout hits, Arnold's winning streak finally buckled. Last Action Hero, 1993, opened with sky-high hype and a Times Square premiere, but audiences stayed home. Box office poison, critics declared. The Austrian Oak had lost his bark. Arnold treated box office bombs like failed reps. Analyze, adjust, attack. Poor timing, bad marketing, lesson learned. Life threw a sharper curve in 1997. Routine tests revealed a congenital heart defect requiring immediate surgery. Hollywood braced for career-ending downtime, but Arnold scheduled the operation for the morning after wrapping Batman and Robin. 4 months later, he was flexing on The Tonight Show, proving his new titanium valve worked just fine. The industry whispered one word: indestructible. That brush with mortality accelerated a shift already brewing. Away from cameras, Arnold coached Special Olympics athletes and funded youth programs across LA. His marriage to Maria Shriver had opened political doors, positioning him as the rare Republican who could cross party lines. When he championed a ballot measure funding after-school programs, it passed by a landslide. Voters liked the idea of Schwarzenegger in government. Then California imploded. Rolling blackouts, budget crisis, governmental meltdown. A recall petition against Governor Gray Davis exploded across talk radio, and Arnold saw his opening. On August 6, 2003, he walked onto The Tonight Show, not plugging a movie but dropping the ultimate plot twist. "If the politicians won't clean house," he told Jay Leno, "I will." Jaws dropped. Cameras flashed. The Terminator had just terminated California politics as usual. The campaign was brutal. Career politicians throwing jabs, last-minute scandal stories, comics mining every accent joke imaginable. But rally crowds kept swelling. On election night, the immigrant who once landed in Miami with a gym bag won 48% of the vote in a field of 135 candidates. Standing beneath Sacramento confetti, he declared himself the people's governor. From box office flop to heart surgery to running America's fifth-largest economy, all in 10 years. The roller coaster had delivered Arnold to his biggest stage yet, proving that reinvention wasn't just his specialty, it was his superpower. The confetti from inauguration night hadn't settled when whispers began gnawing at the governor's polished image. Rumors of past flirtations were nothing new. Those had shadowed him for decades. But in May 2011, a single headline detonated every prior allegation Arnold Schwarzenegger had fathered a son with the family housekeeper Mildred Boehner back in 1997, while Maria Shriver was pregnant with their 4th child. For 14 years, his secret son ate Christmas dinner at the same table as Maria's children. Family photos now looked like optical illusions. The resemblance between Arnold and Joseph was unmistakable once you knew. Shriver confronted her husband in marriage counseling. According to friends, the moment felt like someone smashing a mirror that had reflected the perfect political brand. Movie star, philanthropist, self-made immigrant, Kennedy by marriage. Days after leaving the governor's office, Schwarzenegger released a statement calling the affair painful and deeply regrettable. It was his shortest public address since "I'll be back." Yet the fallout was seismic. Brand partnerships shriveled, talk show couches went cold, and gossip sites counted down to divorce papers like a New Year's Eve ball drop. Maria moved out of their Brentwood estate with the children, forming a separate household across town. Hollywood tabloids framed it as the collapse of modern Camelot. Kennedy Grace meets Austrian ambition, undone by a hidden chapter. Lawyers began untangling estates rumored to exceed $500 million. But even in scandal, Schwarzenegger rewrote the script. He publicly acknowledged Joseph, paid tuition, attended birthdays, and invited the teenager into his workout circle, an act critics labeled brazen, supporters called paternal responsibility. Shriver poured her energy into advocacy work, later describing the marriage's end as brutal but clarifying. The divorce became official in 2021, a full decade after the secret surfaced, delayed by estate complexity and a quiet determination to shield 5 children from further headlines. When the gavel finally dropped, the Arnold legend wore a new scar. Yet even this rupture fed the larger narrative. Every empire he'd built, bodybuilding, box office, politics, had been forged by confronting uncomfortable truths head-on. The real question now, could reinvention strike yet again? When most celebrities downshift after a scandal, Arnold found a new gear. He left Sacramento with approval ratings bruised but intact, slipped back into private life for exactly 2 weeks, then declared his next mission: saving the planet. One diesel regulation, one solar roof, one stubborn politician at a time. He co-founded R20 Regions of Climate Action, hosted annual summits in Vienna, and used his Terminator drawl to hammer home the message: don't be a girly man on climate. He understood optics better than most governors. In 2019, he installed a giant Earth mural in his home gym, so every Instagram workout clip doubled as a climate PSA. Reporters joked that Schwarzenegger's biceps had gone carbon neutral, and he ran with it, rolling up to conferences in a custom electric Hummer that still looked ready for Predator 2. Then Arnold fixed a pothole and broke the internet. In April 2023, a utility trench on his Brentwood Street kept rattling bicycle tires and coffee cups. After 3 weeks of municipal silence, Arnold grabbed coal patch asphalt, set up a phone tripod, and spent 14 minutes filling the crater himself. By nightfall, the video hit 120 million views. Civic memes exploded. City crews arrived the next morning, half to inspect the patch, half to pose for selfies. Nerds on Reddit corrected that it was technically a utility trench. Arnold didn't care. His daily workout videos during lockdown got more views than most Netflix shows. At 73, Arnold was out-influencing influencers, proving that authenticity beat algorithms every time. That summer, Netflix dropped Arnold, a 3-part docuseries tracing his 3 lives with the candor only he could supply. A week later, Fubar launched, his first scripted TV role as an aging CIA agent who couldn't retire. Streams spiked. Hollywood whispered about his triumphant return to relevance. But that whisper was short-lived. In August 2025, Netflix axed Fubar after 2 seasons, citing a devastating 73% viewership drop. The cancellation sent a clear message. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger couldn't guarantee audiences anymore. Yet transformation remained his specialty. At 78, the Austrian Oak kept growing, adapting, finding new ways to stay culturally relevant. Whether fixing potholes or fighting climate change, Arnold proved that sometimes the best way to stay in the spotlight is to stop chasing it and start earning it all over again. At 77, Arnold Schwarzenegger remains the only human to dominate bodybuilding, Hollywood, and politics, a triple crown no one else has even attempted. He didn't just participate in American culture, he rewrote its DNA. Before Arnold, gyms were basement oddities for meatheads. After Arnold, fitness became a $35 billion industry. He turned physical transformation from vanity into virtue, convincing millions that the gym wasn't just about looking good, it was about becoming unstoppable. He redefined what heroes could look like on screen. Before Arnold, action stars were square-jawed cowboys. After Arnold, they were walking mountains who delivered one-liners between explosions. Marvel's superhero era? That's Arnold's influence echoing through every CGI bicep. Today, every fitness influencer, action hero, and celebrity-turned-politician walks a path Arnold carved. He didn't just immigrate to America, he became the American dream on steroids, literally and figuratively. From a tiny Austrian village to global icon, he proved that with enough drive and vision, you can sculpt not just your body, but an entire culture's idea of what's possible. The Austrian Oak's roots run deep in our culture now, and like all great trees, his influence keeps growing long after he stops reaching for the sky. Thank you so much for joining me in this journey through Arnold's story and his impact on the culture. If you have a favorite Arnold movie, quote, or story, please share it in the comments below. The road to 1,000 subscribers might be long, but every legend starts somewhere. If you want more stories about the icons who built our world, hit subscribe and let's chase that golden milestone together.